Hello!
It's noisy.
Good morning and welcome to the beautiful Dornoch Beach. Do you know where the name Dornoch comes from?
From here?
No, but do you know how they came up with it?
I've no idea.
It actually means pebbly place.
Pebbly? There's no pebbles here.
Ah, but there is. Back in the day, when the committee who were walking around Scotland naming places
Right.
got here, what? They did. In those days, it was known as, where are we, Mr. Stewart? But no, when the committee that was walking around naming places got here, they noticed huge pebbles. And a lot of these pebbles were as big as your fist. They were huge. Don't you start laughing. Because fist in Gaelic, in Scottish Gaelic, is dawn.
Ah, right.
Ah, so you see where it comes from.
Yeah.
Now, some of these pebbles were so huge, as big as your fist, that they used to be used as weapons because they didn't have tactical nuclear missiles back then. So they used to use these big rocks as missiles. So technically, I suppose if dawn is fist, if you were throwing these pebbles, you were fisting, weren't you?
No, you can't say that.
Or you could just call it Pebbly Place. It's said that people have been living in Dornoch, even though it wasn't called Dornoch back then, since the 8th century.
What were it called?
I don't know, something fist or something like that, I don't know. And there's evidence to support that. About 25 years ago, some archaeologists uncovered, what am I thinking of? Not industrial estate, like industrial workings kind of thing, like iron ore and stuff like that.
Right.
And they also dug out an old whale.
What did they do with it?
Well, they chucked it back in because it had no spokes in it. If I could do a Birmingham accent, that would have sounded a lot funnier than it was.
Yeah.
It is a lovely little place, though. In the town itself, there's this 13th century cathedral right in the centre of town. It's beautiful. Just over the road from that is the old town jail and the Bishop's Palace. There's a brilliant golf course, which is, I think it's like the 5th best golf course outside America.
Really?
That if you're a golfer, that probably means more to you than it does to us.
I have no idea.
And it's even got its own little airstrip that looks like something out of Hello Hello or Dad's Army.
Hello, hello.
As lovely as Dornoch is, it has got a bit of a shady past.
Ooh, who lives here?
You know what I'm like? I like to dig up a little bit of, what's that? in our vlogs. And we actually passed the place it happened.
Oh, right.
On the way down here to the beach.
Ooh.
Which means we've got to go backwards to it now. Have you taken your anti-dizzy pill?
An anti-dizzy. Is it a cafe?
Back in the 16th century, there was a new craze sweeping across Scotland.
A new craze? Donny Osmond!
No, not Donny Osmond. He was a bit earlier than that, I think, wasn't he? Witchcraft.
Ooh.
Talking about, not the Frank Sinatra song, actual witchcraft was kind of spreading across, well, not just Scotland, but England as well. To give you an example, near Fife, there was a woman called Elizabeth Dick. I didn't call her that, don't laugh at me. And it was thought she was a witch because she used to go begging at the nearby mill where she used to, I don't know, cook things in a cauldron. And she used to go begging at the nearby mill, but the gaffer chucked her out one day. So she put a curse on the mill, and a few days later, all the grain turned red.
Vimto. It must have been Vimto.
It wasn't Vimto. I don't think Vimto was out back then. But it was a sign of what was coming, and they thought she was a witch. That's not it, though. There's more. Maggie Mungo from Dingwall, they thought she was a witch as well. She reckoned she could predict the future by hanging a sieve over a pair of cooking scissors and seeing which way the sieve swung. I can do that on a morning. I can tell if it's going to rain or not on a morning by which way I'm swinging. Can you do that?
I knew something like that would come in.
A lot of it, to be honest, back in the day was harmless. It was just eccentric old women selling potions that were supposed to guarantee you a happy marriage or make you live longer. But some things never change. Some people are gullible and taken in by misinformation and propaganda.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that made eccentric old women like Maggie Mungo and Elizabeth Dick, do you know what? It just made them easy targets for the witch hunters. Back in 1727, there was a lady called Janet Horne. Who named these people?
They've all got strange names.
Although she might not have been called Janet Horne, because back in the day, they used to call a lot of the witches that they didn't know the names of Janet Horne. You know, a bit like John Doe or Jane Doe.
Did they?
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Oh, right.
So anyway, Janet Horne had a daughter, and her daughter had this kind of thing with a hand. It was a deformity, and one of her hands looked like a hoof, like a horse's hoof. And Janet Horne was going a little bit senile. She had dementia as well. Now, to the witch hunters, this was evidence that they were both witches.
It's obvious, isn't it?
It was, wasn't it? And to make it even more so, the witch hunters then went to the authorities and said, we've got evidence that these two are witches, because Janet Horne turned her daughter into a horse and rode her daughter to the witches' meetings, where Satan himself reshoed a hoof.
What?
He did, he reshoed a hoof. And the evidence that they're witches is that when they got back...
Hello.
When they got back, Janet couldn't quite transform the daughter back into a human, which is why one of her hands was still shaped like a hoof. They were taken to the jail at Dornoch and thrown in the cells. And there was a trial a few days later, and the judge found them both guilty of witchcraft.
Madness.
And they were both to be burned alive the next day. Now, they were put back in the cells, but that night the daughter escaped, and they couldn't catch her. But have you ever tried running after a horse? I mean, you're not going to get very far, are you? But Janet wasn't so lucky. She had dementia. She didn't know what was going on. And the next morning, she was stripped naked, covered in tar, put in a barrel, and paraded through the streets of Dornoch till they got here, where there was a fire burning ready. Now, Janet didn't know what was going on. She had dementia. She was smiling at people and warming her hands on the fire.
Oh, no.
And when they asked her what her last words would be, she says, I've tried to live a good life, but people are strangers to me. My daughter's got a twisted hand and people whisper terrible things about us. Why do they hate us? And with that, she was burnt to death. Her only crime was having dementia. Here, between two parts of the golf course in Dornoch, is where Janet was killed. And just in the garden behind me, there's a stone to commemorate her death. It says 1722 on the stone. It should have been 1727. It's probably a Friday afternoon job for the stonemason. But it's been there since 1727. Now, 9 years later, in 1736, the Witchcraft Act was repealed. And so Janet was the last person to be killed as part of that act.
Wow.
Just recently, a bill was passed in the Scottish Parliament which cleared everybody that had been accused of witchcraft in the past. And earlier this year, the First Minister of Scotland officially apologised on behalf of the Scottish Government for everybody that had been accused over the years. Even the Church apologised for their part in the persecution that they laid upon these witches too. Well, they weren't witches, were they? That's why they were apologised. Yes. It's a bit of a sad tale, really. But I guess every place you go has got some sort of sad tale attached to it.
Yes.
Dornoch is amazing. It's beautiful. And I know you're going to be writing in the comments, oh, you missed this, you didn't go here, you've got to go there. There are so many stories, and we will cover them all eventually. Just at the cathedral, right behind where you are now, where we're sat, is where, just over 20 years ago, Madonna had her son christened in this cathedral. The next day, she married Guy Ritchie, just at a castle up the road. They used to have a railway here in Dornoch, connected to the main Far North Line.
Yes.
Now, that's the story I'm wanting to tell, because Thomas Telford's involved as well. But that's all we've got time for in this one. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you are not already, please subscribe to the channel. It means so much to us.
Yes, it does.
Hit the thumbs up button, and if you hit the notifications bell, YouTube will let you know every time we release a new video.
Is that it?
4 o'clock on a Friday. He's always been limp-wristed, I'll tell you. If you want to help support the channel, there's a link up above Sean's head to join us on Patreon. Link's also in the video description too.
I think we're done, aren't we?
Shall we nip in that cafe? I think we will. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
You alright? It is a lovely little town though. I've already said that. Gotta wait for a car. We need a song. We need like a song. Like a Back in a Moment. You know, like the test card with the girl and the teddy. We need something like that for when we pause for when cars go by. Like that.
We're gonna be here all day.
Can't say that.
People, go away.
They were both thrown into the local jail here at Dornoch. Thrown into a local jail here at Dornoch.
Shut up.
Just recently, a bill was passed at the Scottish Government. And I can't remember what it was about because I only read it about 4 seconds ago.
And 4 times.